did the Soviets do instead of competing in the 1984 Olympics?
We made our own friendship games. That was an alternative games to the Olympics.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. And how well did that go?
I thought it went pretty well.
Did you win some nice gold medals there?
Yeah, I did. Once.
It was very nice having you in here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
I'm here with Shaniqua Johnson from Kansas. So, Shaniqua, what events do you run?
I run the 100-meter dash.
And what inspired you to become an athlete?
Well, my dad ran marathons when I was little, and I always wanted to be just like my dad.
So, how much effort did you have to put in for this Olympics?
I've been training for about 2 years, and I eat healthy, and I run 20 miles a day.
Oh, that sounds really hard. So, how did it feel not being able to compete in the 1984 Olympics held in Moscow?
I was really sad I couldn't compete. I just felt like it wasn't fair to the athletes who didn't really do anything to be blocked out from the Olympics.
So, do you think you will compete in the next Olympics held in 1984 in Los Angeles?
I hope so. I'm still training, so we'll see what happens.
Well, back to you, Rachel.
And that, folks, was Shaniqua Johnson from Kansas. And here with me is the official sponsor of the Olympics, the Pillsbury Doughboys. And now, a recap of the 1980 Moscow Olympics. The Soviet Union, because the Americans weren't there, won 20 gold medals, 15 silver medals, and 6 bronze. In the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, USA, the Americans won 50 gold medals, 32 silver medals, and 12 bronze medals. And now, with our update of the invasion of Afghanistan, is Lindsay Wallace. To you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Rachel. And now for a recap of the invasion of Afghanistan. In 1978, the Afghan central government was overthrown by military leader Nur Muhammad Taraki. The Democratic was split into 2 different parties, the Banner Party and the People's Party. The parties reuniting didn't settle very well with the Afghans and the Muslims, along with the anti-communists. Afghans made a deal with the Soviet Union to come in and fix things because when the Soviets came in, they made too many reforms and completely changed the government. People rose up against the government, which caused the Soviets to reinvade on December 24, 1979, sending in 30,000 troops, ending the president of the people's leader. The Soviets wanted to set up a client state, but they were unable to gain popular support. The rebellions of the Muslims and anti-communists grew, and they were backed up by the U.S., which supplied them weapons. The Soviets relied on the Afghan army, which quickly put their country in a stalemate. The Soviets then tried to fight the rebellion problem when the Soviets bombed the rural areas. By 1982, 2.8 million Afghanistans went to Pakistan and 1.5 went to Iran. The rebellion was neutralized by the Soviet anti-craft missiles provided by the U.S., and all troops were withdrawn from Afghanistan. Yesterday, on February 15, 1989, the Soviets lost a total of 15,000 troops and were pulled out of the country.
Thank you, Lindsay, for that fascinating interview on the invasion of Afghanistan. To recap, the Americans boycotted the Soviet Union Olympics in Moscow in 1980 because the Soviet Union refused to withdraw their troops from Afghanistan. To counter that, the Soviet Union boycotted the American Olympics in Los Angeles in 1984. I want to say a special thanks to our exclusive interviews with Shaniqua Johnson and Dmitry Stalin of Soviet Union.
Thankfully, yesterday all troops were removed from Afghanistan with the help of the U.S. Another war won. This has been the 6 o'clock news, brought to you by my co-anchors Brianna Neslin, Rachel Shirley, me, Lindsay Wallace, and Aaron Bruner.
Tune in tomorrow at the same time for another update on the invasion of Afghanistan.
This has been the Fast Updated News. Fun. Good night.